Today, we're diving into a physical symptom of anxiety that can be, well, really unsettling: shaking. We're going to break down why our bodies do this and what you can actually do to manage it.
Have you ever had that feeling, that unnerving tremor or shake that just comes out of nowhere when you're stressed or worried? It can make you feel completely powerless. So the big question is, what is actually going on inside your body?
Well, if this sounds familiar, you are so far from alone. Anxiety disorders affect about 40 million adults right here in the United States. It's a huge reminder that this is a shared human experience.
All right, first up, let's talk about that uncontrollable shake. We're going to look at where this one physical symptom fits into the whole bigger picture of anxiety.
You know, it is so important to understand just how physical anxiety really is. It's not just a feeling of worry in your head. Your body has a very real, very powerful response. We're talking a racing heart, sweating, and yeah, of course, shaking. It's just one piece of a much larger puzzle your body is trying to solve.
So why? Why does our body react this way? Well, it all comes down to a kind of biological false alarm. It's our ancient survival system getting triggered at, let's face it, pretty inconvenient times.
At the very heart of this is the fight or flight response. It's our body's old-school survival software. And the car alarm analogy here is perfect. It's designed to protect you, but sometimes it just goes off when there's no real danger, only one that we perceive.
So here's how that chain reaction actually happens. It all starts in the brain. It doesn't matter if the threat is a bear or just a looming deadline. Your brain hits the panic button. This unleashes a flood of hormones like adrenaline, which gets your whole body ready for action. Your muscles get super tense, ready to either run or fight. And all that excess energy and tension, that's what comes out as shaking.
So you see, the shaking isn't a sign of weakness at all. It's a totally natural, even if it's completely overwhelming, result of your body's defense system kicking into high gear. It's really a feature, not a bug, of our survival instincts.
It's also really important to know that anxiety can act like an amplifier. So for someone who might already have a condition like essential tremor, anxiety can pour gasoline on that fire and make the symptoms way worse, which just creates this awful feedback loop.
Okay, so we've gotten a handle on the why. Now let's pivot to the how. How can you actually start to manage this response? This next part is all about those first actionable steps you can take.
And the absolute foundation of managing this is awareness. Seriously, it's about becoming a detective of your own body and mind. What situations, what thoughts, what feelings tend to set off that internal alarm? Just identifying your personal triggers is the first and maybe the most powerful step toward getting some control back.
Next up, it's about building a really strong foundation of wellness. These 4 pillars, they're not quick fixes, but man, do they build up your resilience. Getting enough sleep helps regulate your mood. Exercise literally burns off those stress hormones. A good diet supports your brain, and actively working to lower stress calms everything down. Together, they make that internal car alarm way less sensitive.
And when we talk about actively reducing stress, we've got some proven winners. Things like yoga, meditation, and especially controlled breathing exercises. These can send a direct signal to your nervous system saying, hey, it's okay, we can calm down now. It's like finding the off switch for that fight or flight response.
But listen, sometimes lifestyle changes just aren't enough on their own, and that is perfectly 100% okay. Professional support can give you more targeted, more powerful tools to manage anxiety.
So professional treatment usually falls into 2 big categories. On one hand, you have psychotherapy, like cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, that helps you literally retrain how your brain responds to triggers. And on the other hand, you have medication, which can help manage the physical symptoms more directly.
Now, if a doctor thinks medication might be a good idea, they might talk about a few different types. Some are for short-term, right-in-the-moment relief, while others work over the long haul to keep symptoms at bay. The key thing here is they're all prescription meds, which is exactly why talking it over with a doctor is essential.
But you know, it's almost never just one single thing. The most effective game plan is usually a combination of everything, using therapy to build new skills, maybe medication to manage the really tough symptoms, and those lifestyle changes to build up your resilience for the long term.
This all brings us to a really critical question. When does normal, everyday stress cross the line into something that really needs medical attention? Let's break down the signs to look for.
Yeah, it's really important to know the difference between stress and an anxiety disorder.
Stress is usually tied to a specific thing, right? A short-term event. And when the event's over, the symptoms fade. An anxiety disorder, though, that's persistent. It hangs around and starts to seriously get in the way of your daily life.
So here are the clear red flags. If your anxiety is messing with your work, your relationships, or just your general well-being, or if you're starting to feel hopeless or have symptoms of depression, it is absolutely time to talk to a doctor. And this part is crucial. Shaking is not only a symptom of anxiety. There are several other serious medical conditions that can cause tremors, and that is precisely why trying to self-diagnose from the internet can be a really bad idea.
And that brings us to the absolute bottom line. You can do all the research in the world, but the only person who can give you a definite answer about what's causing your shaking is a qualified medical professional. A real diagnosis is the first, non-negotiable step to getting the right kind of help.
So to wrap this all up, the biggest takeaway here is empowerment through understanding. Just knowing that the shaking is coming from your body's fight or flight system might not be a cure, but it is the first, most critical step toward learning how to manage it. And that leaves us with a final question for you to think about. Now that you have a much better handle on the why behind anxiety shaking, what's your first step going to be?